Hello, welcome to an Xcode tutorial. We're going to be building a Hello World application. So the first thing you need to do, I already have my project sitting here, but I'm going to create a new one. Go up here, File, New, Project. Actually, you know what? You might, if you're just totally new to all this, you won't even have that window. So let me just close all this stuff down. Okay, close this. That's Java. So open up Xcode, that's advanced. Open up Xcode and then you'll get this welcome window right there. And we're going to just click create a new project. And this window will open up and we're going to select the single view application. So mine does that by default because that's the one I use the most. So go ahead and click next. Product name, Hello World. Organization name, make that whatever you want. Company identifier, again, whatever you want. Device, I'm doing iPhone because the iPad won't fit on my screen. Use storyboards, check that off. These two check off just because that's the default. If they're not checked off, check them off. So that way I don't need to deal with that in case that causes errors. So, next. Save location. Save it wherever you want. I'm putting mine in the save folder, Xcode tutorials. Make sure create local git repository for this project is checked off because that'll create its own little folder inside of there. So I'm going to hit create. And you will not be prompted to replace it because you probably won't have Hello World. So I'm replacing mine and it's loading. Alright, so now we got this nice window here. And so for the Hello World application to start off with, we're not going to look at anything except for the main storyboard.storyboard. So let's head on over to the main storyboard. You'll see right here, we've got a nice little interface builder. We've got a nice interface builder. I'm going to click this button right here because the simulator I'm using uses the 3.5 inch display, not the 4-inch display. So to put some text on this screen, it's as easy as going down here, scroll down, take a label, drag it onto the screen. I like it to snap in the middle, drop right there. To change what it says, double click it and type in Hello World. There you go. So now we're going to go up here, click the run button, wait for it to build this, and then we're going to look at it on the simulator. Alright, here's the simulator. And you will see that we get this nice little Hello World printed right in the middle of your iPhone simulator screen. And actually just quit out of that. So now you have a Hello World application, but that's not really coding. So let's add a round rect button onto your screen. Now with this button, let's try to make it so when we click the button, it will change it from Hello World to say something else. So I'm going to double click on the button to change the text and type in change. And then now we're going to go over into this file right here, view controller, well, after we save. So file, save. Go over to viewcontroller.h. The .h is a header file. In your header file, you declare all of your variables. And a variable is just anything, it's a name for an object. So open up a bracket here under interface. Bracket are these little squiggly ones. They're on the key with that boxy one right there. So open up one of those and hit enter. It'll automatically close it for you. Brackets group coding together. That's all you need to know about brackets. So inside the interface there are these things. So I'm going to type in you should do this too, IB outlet, hit tab to autocomplete that, and that just means that IB outlet means whatever we type in here we can use in the storyboard. And then we're going to do UI label, which means there's going to be a label and a pointer to point to what we want to name it. And we're going to call this label 1. So all this says right here, and always put a semicolon at the end of statements, except there are a few occasions where you don't, but we're not going to have to worry about those for now. So all you need to think right now, always, it's instead of using a period to end a sentence, we use semicolons in coding. So then next we want to add a button. So IB outlet UI button. Then a pointer, and we'll call this button change. So now the code knows that there is a UI label and a UI button, and they each have names. So we're going to go ahead and save that and head over to our storyboard again. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to attach those outlets to our two objects. So go up to View Controller right here, right click on that, and you'll see your two things right here and here. Label 1. So label 1, this dot right here, click and drag that down to your label, and you'll see a box form around it. Just let go, and it'll say it's attached. Change, attach that to the change button. It's that simple. So now we're going to save this, and then now all there is to do is to go into the View Controller M file. The View Controller M file is the main file where all the coding is done. So basically it takes your variables and it uses them and tells them what to do, and that way the iPhone can actually run something. So another thing you should notice is the app.delegate.h and app.delegate.m. Don't touch those. Those are very not touched. So just don't touch them, just leave them. So in viewcontroller.m, oh, I forgot one thing. Viewcontroller.h, we need to create what's called an IB action. An IB action is basically, it's a method, and basically all it is it's just an action or just something that happens under a certain condition. And IB actions, you normally link those to like buttons or switches and stuff like that. So you're going to type in this dash, open a parentheses, IB action, and then, oopsies, we don't need all this stuff here, so just don't need tab to auto-complete that. IB action, and we're going to call this change text. And I like putting capitals in the middle right here to like, because you cannot use spaces when you name variables. Don't use spaces. If you did that already, go back and fix that. So like change space text is not gonna work. You'll get errors. So change text, then semicolon. So this is just saying there's an IB action, its name is change text. So then we'll save that, go over to the main storyboard, right click on View Controller, and you'll see down here in Received Actions, change text. Click and drag this to the button as well. What you're doing by doing this is saying that you want this action to happen when the button does one of these things. This will pop up as soon as you let go of it on the button. Touch down, it's pretty much self-explanatory. It happens when you touch your finger down on the screen on the button. So we're going to pick touch down. And then there, you can see it's paired. So we're going to close that window, save the storyboard, and go over to the M. Now, I already told you this is where you'll see this little yellow warning here. That's because we have not implemented the method for change text. It's just saying, hey, you declared something and you haven't used it yet. So under View Controller right here, just give yourself another line, hit dash, open up the thing, IB action, then type in the change text or whatever you named yours, but do not use semicolon here. And then open bracket and then close bracket. The reason you don't put a semicolon there is because you don't want it to end there. You want it to do the stuff inside of here. And also putting a semicolon there would just cause a bunch of like just weird things. So inside of this thing, what we want to happen when we click change text is we want the label 1, and we want what to change on it? We want the text to change on it. So label 1.text. Oopsies, text. And then what do we want to set it to? So hit equals, space, you always start a string with an @ sign in Xcode. I don't know why. Then open up a quotation mark and then type in I was changed, or whatever you want to put in for your thing, and then a semicolon to close that. So what this does is it takes your text inside of label 1 and changes it to be what's inside of those quotation marks. So then now, when we save it and go up here to run, it will build it, and we will wait for the simulator to open. There we go. And then we have this thing right here, and so there's our change button. So let's go ahead and click that. Boop. And then now it says I was changed. So that is basic coding for that. That kind of concludes the step 1 in coding. Now, if you had trouble with anything, you can let me know by commenting on this video. But before you do that, I encourage you to go back and rewatch parts of the video that might not have made sense to you, because I'd rather you figure it out than me have to tell you. I mean, there's not much you have to figure out here. And so that's it. Part 2 of this series of Hello World things will be uploaded momentarily after this. They'll be uploaded in one set, so adios.